What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, the Gamer 870, back with another banger. As you can see, there have been some great improvements over here in Broncos country. Um, right now, I'm not currently rocking my abilities the way I should with this team. I have accepted that this team just can't compete with a Legends team, so I do I add players in when I'm playing online, and I'm trying to pursue mud champions. But my pure mud Broncos theme team, we are 85 overall, 84 on offense, 87 on defense. As you all can see, though, my corner game is not the greatest. We have been fortunate enough to get Cortland Sutton on last week. I'm not going to take you through the stats. You already know what they are because you probably got the card yourself if you felt the need to grind for them. But we do have some upgrades that are needed on the offensive side of the ball. I know I sound like I'm begging. However, in the last couple of weeks, we've got Russell Wilson, Cortland Sutton, Jerry Judy, Noah Fant. Trey Smith came early in the year. Gary Zimmerman came a little bit earlier than the rest of these other cards, with the exception of Trey Smith. But if you look at the offensive line, we do have Tom Compton currently. We don't have the new Tom Compton. We'll get him probably at the end of this week or next week, at the beginning of the next week. But he's a 74 overall. He jumped from a 74 to an 89, and I'm not even 100% sure that he starts. So it is not going to be a. I'm not going to complain about it, but for us to get an 89 free card for just grinding the game, can't beat that. You can't beat that. Um, on the offensive side of the ball, though, I don't think there are any new cards that you didn't see last week. Um, but we do have some glaring holes after we get this Tom Compton card. We still need a third wide receiver. We're still short a third wide receiver. Tim Patrick is an 84. That's not going to cut it. We need a fullback. Andrew Beck is not going to cut it. We need a left guard and a center. I wouldn't be shocked if we got one of them in the next promo that's coming around. It's supposed to come around tomorrow, but it's probably going to be delayed with all the hurricane stuff. Um, Condolences / prayers to everyone involved in all of that. Is definitely a scary time right now. Defensive side of the ball. Some of you all have noticed that my coins are ugly. Uh, that's because of this Seth Joyner card. That's because of this Seth Joyner card. This Seth Joyner card is probably one of the best cards in the game. I actually use him as my user. He is 90 overall. He's 92 overall at left outside linebacker. He gets 90 speed. He gets 90 acceleration, 89 strength, 86 tackling, 86 play rate, 88 block shed, 60 power move, and 82 finesse move. Just keeping it a buck with you, probably one of, oh, I didn't show you his abilities. I'm sorry. He's probably one of the best cards in the game right now on the low, but let's keep it on the low. Everybody doesn't have to know that. He gets crushed for 2 AP, deflated for 2 AP, enforcer for 2 AP, demoralizer for 2 AP, inside stuff for 2 AP, no outsiders, Mr. Big Stop, flat zone KO, unpredictable, instant rebate, and tip drill. Honestly, I would love to be able to put Lurker on him, but he hasn't reached that level just yet with that in that ability bucket. So in this ability bucket, he gets a pure tackler, unfakeable, on the ball, out my way, stonewall, reach elite, goal line stuff, run stopper, pick artist, adrenaline rush, no outsiders, demoralizer, BOGO, extra credit spinner, and swim club. And that ability bucket. And this one is the first ability bucket, which everybody gets. It's pretty standard. Nothing fancy about that one. As of right now, one of the best cards I have. one of the best cards I have. Uh, I actually would put him up there. He's faster than pretty much everybody else on the team, with the exception of Champ Bailey and Steve Atwater. I think he's the fastest guy on the team, with the exception of those two players. Just those two players. I think he's faster than everybody else. I know on defense he is. And how fast is Cortland Sutton? How fast is Cortland Sutton? He and Cortland Sutton are tied in speed. So that just tells you he's definitely worth it. He needs to be on the field at all times. Like I said, I use him as my user. And it's pretty exceptional. Now, I will say this. With a lot of people complain because, they just give us Denver, as of right now, has 5 outstanding outside linebackers. And with the game that Randy Gregory just had Sunday night, he's probably going to end up getting another upgrade. Okay, so that gives us DeMarcus Ware, Randy Gregory, Seth Joyner, Shaquille Barrett, and Von Miller as Denver Broncos team players. Okay, some people get upset because all we get in Denver is outside linebackers and cornerbacks. That's pretty much all we get. They load us up with those two. However, if you really pay attention to the game, your second string is so important for your kickoffs. Your second string on defense is so important for your kickoffs. As much start to advance and increase in cards and card ratings, that second string is going to be the guy that's going to be the ones running downfield. And here's another secret for you all just beginning to play mud. If you're just beginning to play mud and you're watching your guys, you can tell how much faster your team is than your opponent by simply seeing where you stop them on kickoffs. If you kick the ball off and you stop them around the 15 or the 20, you have the faster team. But if every single time you kick the ball off and they return it and they're getting to the 30s or 35, 40, one, you have a horrible second string. Two, you probably are out kicking your coverage. Three, you probably are kicking the ball and they're countering it by putting their players where they know you're going to kick the ball. That's just something to keep in mind. Strengthen your second string to strengthen your kickoff. On the counter side of that, if you look at the offense, your offensive line, like last year, those of you who really watch the channel know I was championing to get a strong second string offensive line. This is why. It makes it so much easier to break those long runs. Now, when you have a strong second string offensive line, what happens is they hold that block just a little bit longer. Not all day, but just a little bit longer. And when you get to the point where you have 99 speeds, you are able to now start hit a crease and you don't. Right now it's a little bit, you don't really have that luxury. But once you start getting that 99 speed player, you hit a crease and you're out of there. Out of there. So with that being said, offensive line, second string offensive line, and second string on defense works tremendously in terms of kickoff and kickoff return. That's something that you definitely need to have in your mind and consider doing. I know a lot of you have a tendency to just strengthen your first string offensive line and be like, well, the second string don't matter anyway. It does in terms of kickoff. And if you had somebody to break a kickoff on you, or they continuously kick the ball to your fullback and your fullback can't go anywhere, that all of that could be easily fixed. That could help you. I'm sorry, I'm giving away my tips in this breakdown video. My apologies. But as you all have seen, I've given you the updates in Denver Bronco country. We grinded last night and got about 130 coins just from playing the game alone and selling packs that we opened. So we're doing what we need to do. On the defensive side of the ball, I wouldn't be upset if we got a middle linebacker, defensive tackle, a right or left end or free safety. Justin Simmons is outdated at this point. He's a little bit outdated. But with that being said, you all continue to be blessed, continue to allow God to use you. If nobody told you that I love each and every one of you, then there's nothing that you can do about it. Peace.